Hey everyone, so last week was Jamsepticeye, a game jam hosted by Ducky Dev and Jacksepticeye, and I participated in it. The jam lasted 4 days, my time from from Wednesday afternoon up to about Monday at 6 a.m. The topic of the jam was Death is an Opportunity. Now, as of recording this, the jam still isn't over. There's about 4 days left for the voting, and then the jam will be officially over. But in total, there are 1,215 entries. I think about 6,000 people joined. So about, 20% of the people who joined submitted a game. My entry is a small puzzle game called Soul Switcher. That is also a platformer. I've never made a platformer up to this point. Essentially, my take on the theme was to make a two-player game where at first you control one of the players and then you do some stuff in the level, unlock some doors and place yourself in a specific position where the first player then dies and its soul switches into the second player, which can then work from whatever the first player did, and also the first player's character has its own hitbox. So essentially, with the first player you can jump into spikes, and then as the second player you can jump on top of your previous self, if that makes sense. So in total it has 7 levels. My target was anywhere between 5 and 10. 7 seems quite good. The project is also open source and is on GitHub, if anyone wants to see the source code for some reason, I don't know, for learning purposes or other. The game was made with my classic tool set, so C++, SFML, and I also used my level editor, which is currently in, let's say, beta of version 1.7.1. And this was actually a really good time for testing the stability of it, and I found various bugs with different degrees of impact. So some of them I had to fix immediately, but other than that I made a list for things that I'll fix in the near future before publishing the full release. So yeah, as mentioned, this is a platformer game. I've never made a platformer game, and physics need to be quite solid for any platformer game, and they are usually more complex than a top-down shooter, which is what I'm familiar with. So I had to do a bit of magic with math and physics and collisions. It's quite good, I'd say. You can bug it out if you try to, but generally I don't think anyone will have issues with that. This is my fourth game jam. So my first game jam that I finished was in 2021, Chaotic Mess. Then in 2022, Chain Reaction. I skipped over 2023 for some reason. In 2024, I made Project G, which was my first ever game in Godot. And now in 2025, I'm back on my usual toolset, and it was definitely a lot of fun, especially since this is also the first time I've ever been in more of a team. So I also worked on this with 2 of my colleagues. One worked on the menu and game music, and the other one worked on the player art, the flag art, and all of the animations, sprite sheets that come with it. Last year I messed around with porting the graphics library, so SFML, over to the web. So to be able to build a web version of your game is, I'd say, quite important for game jams. SFML currently does not officially support web builds, but as you may or may not have seen on my channel, there is a tutorial for how to use that branch that I've made, which is based on some older branches from the SFML community, but it's been a bit more modernized. The jam requires for there to be a Windows build, but I think having a web build as well is really useful. More people will probably test your games just because they don't have to go through the process of downloading it and unzipping and running It works decently well. I had one major issue, let's say, which was that the background texture while you were playing the game was split into tiles, which sort of for me makes sense because the texture background was being repeated, so all of those so everywhere where it was repeated there was a visible border, which other than WebAssembly did not ever happen in native builds, so I'm not sure why that happened, but I basically slapped on a band-aid and just made a larger texture that does not repeat. So yeah, I just wanted to document this, and I'll leave you with some gameplay of the game, and yeah, that's basically all from me. There are some more interesting projects going on behind the scenes. I'm not sure when the next video will be out, but yeah, that's basically it for now. As always, thank you for watching, and until the next one.